It was a jam-packed Thursday as we zone in now on Saturday's Husker Games event. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com. We heard from General Manager Pat Stewart for the very first time as he talked about just the transition he's made from the NFL to now college and covering and recruiting high school players.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I don't have a lot of experience in college football right now, but I could have been in the business for 15 years and I'd probably be on the same plane that everybody else is, right? Because everything's changing and everything's adjusting. So to the point of, how have I adjusted to it? Everybody's adjusting to the same things. So it's really not a advantage or a disadvantage at this point.
Hey, Pat, what has been, Sean Callahan with Husker Online, what has been the biggest adjustment for you to watch high school tape and, deal with, 15, 16-year-olds versus 23, 24 grown men, what you spent the last several years dealing with?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've really been surprised, especially the guys we're watching here and the guys at Keith and Troy and that team has identified. They're really good football players. I've been surprised at how good and how developed those guys are at such a young age. A lot of guys on defense playing with their hands at like levels I wouldn't expect, right? Quarterbacks who know how to go through progressions, receivers who know how to run routes. I've been surprised more on the positive side of things than trying to adjust my eyes to watching a different type of football.
A lot of questions as well for Stewart about the future of the House settlement case, particularly about the roster size limits.
Yeah, the strategy will be to adjust and do business as it's being done. Decisions will be made whenever those rulings come down. And whenever they're set to go, we'll be set to go. So really not too much to add beyond that.
Stewart came to Nebraska from the New England Patriots, where he worked under people like Bill Belichick, learned a lot over those years in the NFL.
So I was in the NFL for 18 years. Was really fortunate to be with, great organizations with great people. And when you're working in the NFL, you kind of think, well, there's only 32 of these jobs if eventually you want to take the next step and apply what you've learned during the course of your career. Things have changed in college football. These opportunities have presented themselves now. And I just thought with Matt being here, my familiarity with him, it would be a good transition.
For Stewart, he said maybe the biggest challenge thus far with college football, though, compared to the pros, is just the different levels of contract disparity.
I don't know if it's overstated. It's just, like I've said before, like the rules are constantly changing, right? So we're kind of going to adjust. I've been fortunate to have been a couple of different places, exposed to a lot of different things. We'll use some different mechanisms that we've used at those places at this level and try to, correlate to how this structure works. Like we've worked with the salary cap in the NFL. Salary cap here isn't really the same thing because there's different mechanisms you can use for moving money forward, incentivizing contracts. You really can't do that under this setup. So that'll be a change that I'll have to get used to.
Then we heard from quarterback Dylan Raiola as he hit on just what this spring has been like for him.
I'll speak on behalf of our team. I think just the unity and the brotherhood we've grown and built. I'm very proud of where we are. We've had about 6 or 7 leaders kind of rise to the top, and everyone knows the standard. So those guys are more for decision making for behalf of the team. As well as, us talking about certain things that need to be changed. So to your question, I think just the unity and the bond that we've built for the whole roster, that's the biggest thing for us.
And for Raiola, he's been obviously one of the leaders, but he went through another group of players as well that have stepped it up in leadership roles.
Yeah, Cam Lenhart, Dane Key, Justin Evans, Gage Stinger, Mar Watson, and Henry Lutovsky. I'm probably forgetting one. I'll probably hear from it. But, yeah, those are the guys. Myself, yeah.
Particularly that wide receiver room continues to be a big story as they grow with Raiola.
Guys have stepped up to the plate. Like I said last time I was up here, and you got your Ferraris, you got your Lamborghinis, and my linemen those are my guys. So yeah, I'll say a few names: Quinn Clark, Cortez Mills, Isaiah Mosey, Bonner. We call him Wood. Those are just a few guys that they've all stepped up. So you know, when we go out there and we look left, we look right, we're very confident that they're going to know exactly what to do and honestly put them in position to make plays. There's no doubt in our minds. So it's a good feeling from my standpoint, and I know Holgerson as well. So we just got to keep working on executing and making the routine plays.
And one of those receivers we heard from was Ja'Cory Barney.
I feel like it's going good. I've been working on myself, working on completing my game, mastering my game, and taking that next step in my game, working on, you know, using my speed and out of cuts, working on body level and getting out of routes. And I feel like my game has just got better and better over spring.
And finally for Raiola, just his relationship with Dana Holgerson continues to grow.
It's a lot of fun. I just think our connection, you know, it's very strong. There's hardly any other time where we're not on the same page of, you know, maybe I'll from the field ask for a play and he won't hear me, but he'll call the play in my ear. Which I don't know if that's AI or what, but I just think we're kind of on the same page, and he understands our offense and what we're good at and what we're not. So we're constantly being in positions to make plays and also, you know, to be successful.
Then we heard from a couple of defenders, linebacker Vincent Shavers, who looks to take a big step in John Butler's defense.
I feel like John Butler, I feel great we feel great, in the system, in the scheme. I feel like it's a great scheme. He preparing you for the next level already. So, there's no difference. See ball, get ball. So we play aggressive and fast football out there.
Shavers has lofty goals as for what he wants this defense to be in 2025.
I want to have the most turnovers in the nation. I want to lead the turnovers. We want to lead the turnovers, sacks, pick interceptions. I want to lead we want to be the best defense and just overall in college football.
And then up front on the defensive line, we heard from Cam Lenhart for the first time as he's one of Nebraska's more veteran defensive linemen.
Well, first of all, it's been a fun spring. It's been great. New energies. You know, we had to adjust a little bit with a new coach coming in, but overall, I think the group did very well. We all took a liking to Coach Terry as soon as he stepped in the building. And, you know, I think most of all, we all molded as a unit together, learning each other, because it is really a new group in there. So just being able to go out there and just getting tight with each other this spring.
Huskers wrapped up their final spring practice here on Thursday. They'll come back for the Husker Games event, which is their 15th practice technically, as they'll put a close here on the spring of 2025. With the Huskers in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.